sitting in here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about.
But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Cleveland, this is for you.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about? That phrase.
Folks, what is going on? Welcome to the latest edition of the A&I podcast. I'm your one half, Arden Franklin.
And Isaiah. Oh my God, that Red Bull got me crazy, son. What? Yo.
The wild boy.
That's why you never drink Red Bull, kids. Red Bull does not give you wings.
It's 7 o'clock at night for anyone listening later.
No.
On a Wednesday. God
Hey, man. I woke up a little bit tired today. But never mind that. It's your boy Isaiah Smalls coming to you live from Miami. What's going on? How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. And of course, man, we got the good brother that you may not see, but you can certainly hear and feel. Reed EPing the show, making sure everything goes oh so beautifully. And thank you once again to the A&I listeners. Shout out to y'all for rocking with us as we begin and continue this journey. Isaiah, I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been great. Last time we spoke, fellas, it was right before my 2-year anniversary with the lady.
Yes,
that went really, really well. Your boy, once again.
Saw all them IG pictures.
Yeah, man. Once again, man, I'm the MVB, most valuable boyfriend. Another successful trip that I planned from A to Z. That's what I do. I plan. I point guard. I point God. The situation. Word to CP3. So I've been in a really good mood. I can't complain. Busy, working. How are y'all, man? Let me figure that out. What's the word?
Hey, man. I'm just trying to make it, man. It's getting hotter here, man.
The beard is looking a little fuller.
Hey, it is. I appreciate you, man. That's called not getting a haircut in a little bit. It's that's what that's called. And shout out castor oil. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get special shout out there. But I'm good though, man. It's getting hot down here, and I'm sure it's getting a little bit, hotter up there.
Yeah, it's getting a little spring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We just had a lovely day the other day. You feel me? I had to throw on that A. Marie. Why don't we fall in love when it's 70 degrees out?
Oh,
you gotta love it. You gotta love it. We here. And of course, there's no way I'm not going through the intro of the show without wishing our own EP Reed a happy birthday. You feel me? We had to throw that in there. More
happy
life,
birthday, Reed.
More happiness.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You already know Reed put us on the clock. He said, before 8:30, you feel me?
I got the Uber ready. Uber's ready.
Oh, snap. He already got it on call, too.
Oh, damn.
No.
That's the type of time. And he telling us a team's not on the way.
And I still am not taking a Red Bull. That's how wild Isaiah is. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that.
Can't let him live that down. To start the show, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into our hot stories, the stories that have been taking up the sports news and much more. And I know for me, good brother Zay, I am hype about these rule changes entering the NFL for next season because my favorite one is the fact that running backs, receivers, linebackers, and DBs can now wear single-digit numbers. I like that, bro. I really like that, bro. That is so fire. Derrick Henry going back to the number 2. My boy Darius.
Is that because I know that's a college thing type stuff.
I'm speaking that into existence.
Okay, project that.
I might even cop a jersey, and he's in my division, and I'm not supposed to like the Titans, but I'll cop a number 2 Henry. I'll do a throwback number 2 Henry jersey. The homie Darius Leonard from my Colts linebacker when he was rocking that number 10 at South Carolina State. And this right here was what should have been done 15 years ago when the homie Reggie Bush wanted to wear number 5 when he was drafted to New Orleans. I felt strongly then that a number change should have been made, but I'm happy it's here now. I need to see all the 5s, 6s, 7s, everything on deck because I'm so happy about this particular rule change. That's all I got.
Hey, that's a good one though. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even see that. I saw that they announced the new rules, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna deal with that after this podcast. But look at you breaking news. I appreciate you.
I was paying attention to that. I think it was Kansas City. I think it might have been Kansas City or Baltimore who brought that rule to the table. Like, yo, we need to get this out of here. And I'm really happy that they also, fellas, said no more overtime in the preseason. Thank God. No more overtime in the preseason. You can't make your impact within 60 minutes. You can't make your impact within 60 minutes. Hey, man, get your LinkedIn up.
Call it a day.
Get your LinkedIn up.
I think the biggest thing for me, you know, and maybe this is just because it's a local thing, but that man Sterling Brown came down here and almost died, man. You know, outside a strip club. That joint's kind of wild to me, man. I mean, of course it's the Rockets and no one really cares about them anymore. But hey, man, Sterling Brown, I care about you, bro. And I mean, we'll have to see what, you know, is the police report and everything. But hey, we got people down here that don't play. So hey, Sterling Brown, I'm just happy you alive, man. And I think you hooped the very next day in the game, bro. So hey, shout out you.
Shout out you. Man. God damn, man, that's crazy, bro. Miami's one of those places that scared me, man. As much as it looks like a lot of fun, because you know, it's wild, bro. It's wild down there. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
You have no idea.
It's of course it was only in Miami that in Bad Boys 3 they had to show Mike Lowry getting shot at the beginning of the movie on the strip in Miami, because it was fitting. Only in Miami Mike Lowry in the movie's getting shot in the beginning. Only in Miami. I couldn't imagine anywhere else. But shout out to them, man. And shout out to Bam, too. That game winner was tough against the Nets the other night. That was really tough. Yes. Isaiah, as we shift to the NFL draft, who is this guy that you want us talking about? Like, what are we talking about, man? Like,
let's not say he's just some guy, man. He's that guy.
Who's that guy?
Also known as Justin Fields.
Okay.
The past couple weeks have been wild on the Justin Fields front, man. I mean, we have the NFL draft next week, and we got something special for my listeners playing, for our listeners playing. So stay tuned,
please.
But you know, that man coming out of let's go back to January, man. Loses in the college football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're thinking number 2 quarterback in the draft. But past couple weeks, man, he's starting to drop a little bit down them draft boards. First was because of processing issues. Then it was his lack of commitment to football. Meanwhile, Trevor Lawrence is saying that like he's not extremely motivated by football. He's just motivated by greatness. But let's put that aside for right now. And then, I mean, today we found out that this man's been dealing with epilepsy.
Yeah.
So who knows how that's, you know, going to affect his draft stock. People already, you know, people already don't think he can decipher a defense or whatever, like, which to me is total bull. But
crazy.
I mean, I want to get your thoughts on this, Arden. Is this you know, accurate? Do you see some sort of accuracy in those claims, or is this just more he's a black quarterback, let's bash him? What's going down?
Oh, heck yeah, it's with the latter, man. I actually wrote an article about this recently, man. Every time folks keep on having these same conversations around a quarterback that happens to be black, I don't think they know how to read defense as well. They're not accurate. All they do is run. You know, maybe they should consider a position change. All I hear is bark, bark, bark. It's racist. It is so lazy. Look, there's certain critiques you can have on him that's real. Yes, from time to time, he may hang on to a receiver. Yes, he's had a couple of bad games. But, bruh, take it easy with this excessive criticism and for even disrespecting him by comparing him to Dwayne Haskins. They're two completely different players that did two completely different things at Ohio State, and it doesn't gather that sort of criticism. And I've said it in the article. Listen, if you're a Trevor Lawrence guy, who I love, if you're a Zach Wilson guy, who I really like, support those dudes without having to freaking bash these other QBs, right? Especially Justin Fields. And I will say this before passing it back to you. Obviously, there is the big break of his health right now, of what he's going through. People have been criticizing and saying whatever he wants. But all you got to do is watch those 2 pro days, and I will explain to you why San Francisco traded all the way up to number 3. And it damn show ain't for Mac Jones. I hope not. It ain't for Mac Jones. It's not for Trey Lance. It's for that brother that was a Buckeye. Because he's that nice. He is that nice. Stop playing. The more people talk, the more I hear their dog bark. Period.
Hey, man.
It's ridiculous.
You speaking facts right now. Definitely facts. I mean, in his 2 years, mind you, the second year is obviously abbreviated because of COVID. My man's 63 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, 5,000 plus yards throwing it, 800 plus on the ground, completed nearly 70% of his passes. I mean, like, I don't understand where all this criticism is coming from, man. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me because, well, I mean, it does make sense because they just love the bash black quarterbacks, man. Like, this guy's legit. He outdueled the, future number 1 pick in Trevor Lawrence, who, is
and
that
it's not
guy.
his first time doing so, by the way. He outdueled him in high school at one of the prestigious competitions. He's done it. He's done it. He's done it. He's that nice.
He's a baller, man. Like, even though he might have been dealing with that epilepsy stuff, which apparently is, affected him since he was a kid, he never missed a game. Even after playing with like 2 ribs, bro, against Bama that championship game, man. 2 ribs. Like, come on, bro. I just don't. I mean, we're in 2021, bro. Like, we gotta put some certain things behind us, man. And one of those things is bashing black quarterbacks, man. Like, you can critique him without, those dog whistles, man. And maybe this is the San Fran sending out bad information just to make sure that they can get him at number 3 because, like you said, he would be a monster.
And it's ridiculous because it's like saying in the event that was the case, San Fran, y'all know who's going 1 and 2. It's Trevor and Zach.
Yep.
What you don't trust yourself or something with the number 3 pick? Like that's downright stupid. Like, we know the order, bruh. Like, we know the order. Like, you're not gonna mess this up.
I mean, I don't know how high up where you put the the rankings after Trevor Lawrence, assuming that he's your number 1, but
he is for me. Yep.
Okay, cool. I think maybe it's because they want to make sure that the Jets actually pick Zach Wilson because personally, like, I don't see how Zach Wilson is a second quarterback, like, skill wise, based strength off skill, who they played and their performance.
He's my third quarterback. He's my third quarterback for me personally. Only because his injury history is more extensive than Justin Fields. And I've watched Justin Fields crush more for longer periods than Zach Wilson.
Exactly.
And I tell people this too. In the right frame, Zach Wilson is as advertised. He is really that nice. He is super duper unique. And he is the new age quarterback that is between 6'1" and 6'3", a bit of a tweener, but damn it, they have a rocket for an arm with a whole lot of arm range. He is that new age quarterback, right? Mahomes and Rodgers, we can say thank you to, along with the good brother Matthew Stafford. But Fields, to me, I've seen him dominate for longer periods of time. I've seen him have better health. I've seen him do something that's incredibly tough, which is transfer from one school to another. People talk all that stuff about that, but forget a certain guy that was the number 1 pick last year, Joe Burrow, also transferred schools, took advantage of the opportunity, and ended up going number 1. And before the injury, was having a pretty good rookie year. So
definitely.
You want to know what's a bigger thing people should talk about, even though I'm not tripping off that too? Why is the guy Devonta Smith Wayne only 166 pounds? That was crazy to read. If some of you out there don't know, Alabama wide receiver plus the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Devonta Smith, had his weight confirmed at a recent medical check in Indianapolis, and it turns out that he is weighing 166 pounds at 6 foot. That to me is a bigger story, even though for me personally, I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm
No,
a
not at
Colts
all.
fan, I watched Marvin Harrison bust people's behinds at like a soaking wet 180.
Yeah.
You know, but I can see why 166 is kind of crazy for a receiver.
Yeah. That's very, very light. But I mean, the thing is, his frame can hold more than that. You know, put him in that NFL strength plan, and he'll be all right. He'll put on like 20 more pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Get him 15, something like.
Yeah, no,
get to
definitely.
180.
Exactly.
Is perfect. That's 6 foot.
Yeah.
200.
No, that's definitely the weight. That's definitely.
He's gonna look like a member of Remember the Titans. Or what was that little kids show? Remember that? The Titans? That's
God.
my man about to be the captain. Someone had to say it. Y'all being too nice.
Hey, man. Hey, Reed.
When you can run routes like that, it don't matter to me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can ball like that, you can be 130 for all I care. Well, I don't know if I'll draft you at that weight, but I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of do whatever. But one last point on Fields before we move on, and this is just to, you know, dispel all those rumors about, you know, he can't process or he's not committed to football. Let's not forget that this man played in the pandemic, bro. Like, a lot of players, Jamar Chase being one of them, backed out, said, hey, it's too much. It's too much back and forth. I'm going to sit out. And now with everything that happened this year, you can actually make a better case that sitting out was maybe the better move for Justin Fields. Personally, I don't think it was, but hey, I don't know. If you're not committed to football, you're not playing in a pandemic, man. You're not playing in the panty. It just wouldn't happen. But obviously there's some intangibles there, whether you want to talk about leadership, whether you want to talk about teamwork and loving the guys you know what I'm saying, balling with. There's something there that is not going to be picked up on by just watching the tape. You know what I'm saying? And even and the thing is, if you are a scout and you can't pick that up, come on now.
It's just more proof again, man, that a lot of scouts and a lot of people's evaluating a talent in NFL. It's dated. It's downright wrong, and that's why it's like I don't really pay attention to them. I pay attention to the homies. Like DJ's been doing a good job scouting the draft.
Of course.
My homie Connor Rogers from BR has been doing a great job covering the draft. But besides that, man, I watch my own film or whatever, or just go on YouTube and see what's up. The one thing I need to see what's up about, y'all, is the fact that the injury bug is hitting the NBA harder than ever, okay? Just the other day, we got updates on James Harden, my selected MVP, man.
I'm sorry.
Had a setback with his hamstring. So he's basically out indefinitely. The Clippers' very own Kawhi Leonard out for at least the next week due to a sore foot. And then, of course, the devastating news of the Nuggets' Jamal Murray tearing his ACL and being out for the rest of the season.
That hurt.
So with all of this happening, man, Isaiah, I have to ask you, when you think about all of these injuries that's been happening, those three, Jimmy Butler missing time in and out of games, KD battling injuries or just needing to prepare for the postseason, the Lakers are about to get back to normal. AD, by the time you guys hear this, AD is supposed to make his return Thursday night. Bron is reportedly a week or two away. Isaiah, which injury you think is the most impactful towards not only that player's team, but towards their competition?
I mean, I think Jamal Murray. I think it's definitely Jamal Murray. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, he'll be healthy by the playoffs. KD, he'll be healthy by the playoffs. James Harden, he'll be healthy by the playoffs. And even if the latter two are not healthy by the playoffs, any combination of Kyrie plus insert James Harden or insert KD is good enough to win the East, in my opinion. And that being said, I think it's the Jamal Murray, man. He's out for the season. Wasn't really capitalizing on that huge bubble performance. You know, he didn't really, I guess replicate that in the regular season. But
sure wasn't.
But the thing is, a lot of players can turn it on and off when it comes to playoffs. With LeBron obviously being a great example of that.
The bubble was just a magical place.
It was. It definitely was.
The bubble was just magic. We not seen that again from. I'm willing to bet that we not seeing that again.
We took it for granted.
For real?
Hey,
I personally
reset
take it
not
for
me.
granted. I was out here watching games at 4 p.m. on a Monday, bro. That joint was fire. That was
It
live,
was
son.
fire, bro. But we not seeing them bubble performances again.
Who knows, man?
That dog. That was something was in the water. Cats was going different. What we
That's
see?
real. T.J. Warren became,
Bro, TJ
a
Warren
baby
was
Kawhi.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah,
my
no,
gosh.
definitely Jamal Murray, because I mean, if you think about the configuration of their offense, even though Nikola Jokic is having an MVP season, Jamal Murray is the, go-to scorer. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's on the court to do, score. And just losing that, I mean, it's going to open up more time for, more shots for, Michael Porter Jr., who's, having a great season. Definitely more shots for Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, and them, but like they don't have that go-to killer scorer at the one. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna hurt them, because let's think about what they did last year: Western Conference Finals, beat Utah, beat the Clippers. I mean. I'm not saying they were going to do both of those things again, because both of those teams are looking pretty good this year. But I'm just saying that they would have given them a run for their money. To me, the Nuggets were the biggest threat to the Lakers in the West, just off of how they're playing right now, how they were playing. Excuse me, but that doesn't really matter anymore. So, I know the Lakers are thinking they're lucky stars because AD's coming back, as you said. LeBron's going to be back soon. So they, are starting to return to full strength just in time for the playoffs, which, bodes well for their title defense. So to me, I'm going Nuggets. I definitely am interested to hear what you thought, because I know your boy is out.
Hey. And you know what, though? I can't blame you for thinking the way you think. I still disagree with the point of the Nuggets being the Lakers' biggest threat.
Was.
I mean, even with Jamal, honestly, in my opinion, I think the Nuggets would have battled like hell to get out of that 4th spot. I don't think they would have wanted that Lakers in the first round smoke and, not seeing what the Lakers could have been doing prior to that. But that's my only disagreeing point with you there. But I will say, beyond typical basketball talk, and I still got to go hard into absence for Brooklyn. I really, really do. And it's for a couple of different reasons. First of all, I will say this first reason is influenced by the Los Angeles Clippers of last year, in which they gave us a great lesson in just because you got all that talent does not mean when the postseason arrives, talent wins out. You need collective toughness, and you need just collective chemistry. And I think for Brooklyn, they can mirror the Clippers in the fact that, we know about the talent. If anything, their team is way more talented than last year's team for the Clippers.
Definitely.
But if the chemistry's not looking right because you guys haven't been playing together, and you then think about the fact that, okay, for that second reason, Harden is, no pun intended, he's your joker. Whatever you need, you pull out Harden and he gives it to you. There's a reason why a team, even with Kyrie and KD, elevated to a whole nother level because of Harden. That was the reason why I made him my MVP. Because not many stars go into a situation like that. It's like, hold on, they had these two guys, and you made them better, and you improved your value, and I see that and go, hey, if you have a Harden that's battling a hamstring, and let's say he's a little rusty, and then it impacts the Nets' overall performance, if you're a Sixers fan, if you're a Bucks fan, if you're any fan in the East, you got to be thinking you're lucky stars. You have to, because this Nets team is already a tough out, even if they don't have the most chemistry and collective toughness. But they could be beaten, because the Clippers was a prime example of that. Now, if they would have had more time together, which would have solved their toughness and their chemistry issues, I'm not even sweating the Nets in the East. I'm not. Even with Embiid and Philly doing the damage he is going to do.
I agree.
But not enough chemistry, not enough toughness, and you're losing your joker. Harden's injury is very, very concerning to me and I think it should be very concerning to the Nets.
No, I mean, I think you bring up a good point there. You're right. You know, Harden was definitely making that team go. Definitely took them to another level. Especially, you know, I'm kind of backing up a little bit. I know we didn't talk about the retirement of LaMarcus Aldridge, but that in combination with, you know, those injuries, I think it definitely is scary hours out there in Brooklyn because, you know, if I remember correctly, I think LaMarcus Aldridge was brought in to be one of those defenders of Embiid, and now who is it? Nick Claxton and DeAndre Jordan.
Hey, look, happy retirement to LaMarcus.
Yes,
he is a Hall of Famer.
Of course.
But Brooklyn would have been on that good stuff.
Back up a little bit.
Yes, stop. Come on.
I'd have to go check the numbers. I mean,
19-8.
Okay.
7-time All-Star, 4-time All-Team, and was a franchise player for 2 franchises that he made better when he was there. Come on, Zay, that's light work.
Yeah.
That's light work. And he was a top 2 pick in his draft?
Yeah. That's not,
Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame.
He's not going to get in first ballot.
It would have to be a weak class. It would have to be a weak class.
Yeah, okay.
Down the line, you looking at a big, classic fadeaway from the mid-2000s. Remember that Aldridge fadeaway. But what I was saying was that even with Aldridge, right, that hurts because the offense he was giving them.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Listen, man, there's not anything in the world that's going to stop Embiid. So the thought of...
the double teams, man.
Double teams and triple teams. But hey, Embiid know how to shoot that thing and he know how to pass out of it.
That's right.
How long are you going to keep... Unfortunately.
That's foul.
Unfortunately.
Take that back.
Unfortunately. That's the thing. That's the only thing realistic.
That's real.
That's the only thing realistic. But I think, again, like, I think if we had to do a top 3 most impactful injuries, and injuries is always terrible, I would say Harden at 1. I would go... Actually, no, I'm not going to go with them. I was going to say, because we also forgot to mention Donovan Mitchell is going to be out for some time with his ankle injury. But Utah is fine. Utah got a squad. I'm gonna go Jimmy at 2 because I think, again, man, his impact on that Heat team when he's there, you know what I'm saying? My homie Tyler Hero got a record about him, but he ain't been playing like that hero. He's been playing like cheeks. Terrible. You feel me? And then 3rd, I'm gonna go for the rest of the time being Bron. So I still want to see what the Lakers do, even with AD back, within this next week or 2 without Bron. I want to see how much of a difference AD makes without Bron on that floor. That's real.
But I mean, they need that. They need at least some scoring power. The Lakers, you know, it can't just be all Dennis Schroeder right now. You know what I'm saying? It can't. It can't be. So hopefully, you know, AD will be back in top shape soon. So.
Hell yeah. And hey, folks, you already know what time it is, man. This is a segment I love so much. Hold on.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play.
Ooh-wee. There's a lot to talk about this week for this week's He Can't Play segment, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Zay, you want to do the honors?
All right,
I can do the honors.
I can kick it off. We have a new world record, ladies and gentlemen, for the shortest lived sports league in sports history, man. And I'm talking about the Super League.
I wanted to
announced
see it.
On Sunday, done by Tuesday, man.
That
joint is a shame, man. And the thing was, you know, when I first saw the announcement without even reading into it, I was like, oh snap, like that's cool. Like, you know, these are all the top teams. Whatever. Like, I already, you know, thought that was people already slotted them as being the top teams, you know, anyway. So I was like, all right, cool. As soon as I started doing my you know, Googles and research, I'm like, whoa, this is just a cash grab. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, like, this is a bona fide cash grab. So shout out the fans for, you know, getting that out of here, that Super League out of here, man. Because at the end of the day, you know, personally, you know, I'm a Liverpool fan, so we were, you know, one of those teams. But if you're somebody like Burnley or Leeds or one of those smaller Premier League teams, like that was a giant FU, man. That was a giant FU because it basically takes out all the competition. You know what I'm saying? Takes out all the competition of your, you know, respective league, whether that be the Premier League, La Liga, you know, what's the league out in Spain? Not in Spain. That's La Liga. League One out in France. So I mean, yeah, it's a giant FU to those smaller clubs. So shout out the fans for getting that out of there. But like I said, that's a world record, man. Shortest lived league ever. I don't know what they're gonna do because I
wanted to see chaos, bro.
Yeah.
And hey, one of my teams, or excuse me, we talking soccer, football clubs, was in it too. I'm a Chelsea fan, Chelsea supporter. So
yeah, y'all were one of the first to pull out.
I was like, yo, I want to see the chaos because I think you know what it is too. Before I pass it back to you to finish, I think for the average American sports fan, they don't understand like how crazy this is. So the only example I think we can give would be imagine if the Lakers, Sixers, Celtics. Imagine all of the best teams said, yo, we're starting our own league.
Yeah.
Or imagine in baseball, like the Yankees when they're actually good. And everybody else said, yo, we out the MLB and we gonna start our own league. Or like the Chiefs, Bucks, Packers, et cetera, said, yo, NFL, screw you, we're out. Like that's what we're talking about. And I think another element to it why a lot of American sports fans don't get it, and even as somebody like me who actually covers soccer, I don't completely get it, is because a lot of those historical soccer clubs were actually founded by the communities that those clubs stayed in. Like hardworking people put their money together. Freaking great-grandfathers or whoever played on those teams and put their own bread into it. This is not like a team that started off small, but yet you was owned by a millionaire of that time. Yeah. Like these are community-based teams. Definitely. So I think that's why there's so much, as I bring it back to you, so much anguish and there was so much anger. It's like, my family, bro.
Yeah.
Founded
You
this
disrespected
team.
my
This
granddaddy's
is all I
granddaddy.
knew.
Yeah. So, like I said, shortest league ever. You know, put him in Guinness. You know, what you got for me, Arden?
Hey, man, like I said before, I wanted to see some chaos, but I didn't want to see the chaos that I'm about to mention. So the other day, I'm just minding my business, working, productive, living a happy life, and I'm actually at a game. I was covering a high school game last night. It feels good covering games again. And my homie JB, salute to him, he's sitting ahead of me in the bleachers. He goes, yo, Arden, you see what the Raiders tweeted? I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? And Reed, don't make me laugh. So he zooms in on his phone like, yo, bro, like the Raiders tweeted this. And I see in bold white letters, I can breathe. Bruh. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, did they delete that? I'm like, are you showing me like the screenshot? And he's like, nah, bro, they tweeted that. Stay up there. So for the folks that somehow don't know this, and I'm not shaming you, yesterday, as of this recording, the verdict was explained in the George Floyd trial for his murder. And Derek Chauvin, the cop, was found guilty on all 3 charges. So we lit up that Chauvin pack all night. And the Raiders, I had to throw that joke in there. I said, so the Raiders.
The Chauvin pack. Yikes.
So the Raiders tweeted, like every other freaking team in league did, their thoughts and support of the verdict. And the Raiders put out in all white letters on a black background, I can breathe. And somehow it was even funnier because below it, because yesterday was 420. So you see that and you see 420, 2021. And look, I know the Raiders owner, I think it's his name, Mark Davis or whoever, said, look,
Mark Davis.
I signed off on it, yes. And I know the family of George Floyd say, look, I'm totally fine with this. But respectfully, no. No, never, bro. Like, dog, God forbid if something happened to the boy, I would be pissed at my family supporting that and letting that slide for me. No, we can't do that, y'all. Not during these times, man. And for them to pin the tweet, you pinned this. What are we doing? This is pin material.
They wanted all the likes. They wanted every like on the internet.
Hey, considering how they've been playing in recent years, the football tweets don't be getting off like that.
Yeah.
So that's why they did it. But that's crazy to me. I can breathe, bro.
Yeah. I mean, from what I, gleaned in the situation, this is the issue.
Sorry to cut you off. That's just as crazy as Nancy Pelosi saying George Floyd sacrificed. He didn't sign up to sacrifice? What the you thought he's signing up for the military or something? That's sacrifice. You sign up for the military, God forbid something happened. That's a sacrifice, bro.
That's a sacrifice. Yeah.
Floyd didn't sacrifice that for 9 minutes and 26 seconds. Like, Nancy, you bugging, bro.
Yeah. Nah. Definitely choose your words carefully, folks. I mean, in terms of the Raiders tweet, I think this is what happens when you don't have enough black people on your staff. Any black person would have been like, "Hold up, guys, let's, I don't want to say any. A lot of black people, most would have been like, yo, chill out, Mark.
Anyone who's cultured is not signing off on that.
Yeah, just like, bro, like, chill out. Just take a step back. Let's go back to the drawing board. And also, this is another issue with. Now that the whole Black Lives Matter movement has became commodified, I think that's the issue, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to appear, as the kids would say, woke, you know what I'm saying? So all these organizations that haven't made the necessary changes in terms of diversifying at the top level, they are just throwing darts out there, hoping something hits, man. And nah, just diversify your board. Get some black people up in there, and then try it again. Because that ain't it. That ain't it at all.
It's not it, man. For real, it's not it. And yeah, that was insane. That was insane. What was interesting? It wasn't as insane, but what was interesting? Excuse me, guys. Was the news of Kobe Bryant's relationship with Nike being over? Kobe's contract with the swoosh ended and expired because not only was Nike not willing to renew it, but of course the Kobe Bryant estate, led by his wife, Vanessa Bryant, they weren't happy necessarily about the handling Nike was doing with his shoes. And this is something that for a lot of folks came as a big surprise, but there was actually a tweet in December of last year by Shervin P, because I do not know how to pronounce his last name, no disrespect, saying how this was in the works for a little while, a potential exit between Kobe and Nike, because Kobe wasn't necessarily happy with his success at Nike, right? And to give my reaction to this, fellas, I'm not surprised. I know Kobe's were a staple of the culture, but it wasn't a staple of the consumers. And I think people got to understand there's a huge difference. There's a lot of different things that are staples of the culture that people respect, right? Those that are within the culture. But when it comes to the general public, it's like, nah, this is not it, right? Yeah. I think about it in music all the time. Certain artists, other artists and people in the game love. But the general public, nah, they just don't rock with it. And I think Kobe's was one of those shoes. Like, yeah, I seen a lot of hardcore ball players, coaches, et cetera, cats had on Kobe's. Heck, even I had a couple pair of Kobe's. But I wasn't outside, even in Kobe's final years playing, seeing Kobe's rock like that. I was seeing LeBrons. I was seeing the KDs. I was seeing the Kyries. Heck, I even saw PGs have a little run. You feel me? Like, heck, I even saw Steph's being rocked a little bit. Like, it wasn't nothing crazy, but hey, when Steph was out here winning 73 games and back-to-back MVPs, his shoes, I saw his shoes getting more runs than Kobe's by the general public. So I'm not surprised by this, and I'm just really interested in seeing what would be the next steps because, all right, are we also thinking about maybe Kobe's being an independent thing? Will Kobe's make their own shoes? Will Kobe's, I don't know, rejoin Adidas? Will they be with Puma? Like, it's something very curious that I'm interested in because if there's anything Kobe was doing before he transitioned, I think Kobe was definitely getting a greater look at his business potential. Definitely. And he was beginning to say, hold on. I'm starting to realize what's my impact to the culture and who I am. Yeah. This is not good enough.
Yeah.
And I think what Vanessa and the rest of Kobe's estate have here is a very, very big opportunity to elevate Kobe's business legacy when it comes to sneakers within the game of basketball to a whole nother level.
No, definitely. I think, this resurgence in Kobe's in terms of their popularity is solely linked to his death, unfortunately. R.I.P. Kobe, man. R.I.P. Gigi. But, it kind of sucks, though, because I always loved Kobe's, man. Like, I remember, this was like 10th grade, yo. At the end of the school year, we have people go, down in the locker rooms clearing their stuff out. And then after that, you have the maintenance people come and, clear the stuff out as well. But right before the maintenance people walked in there, I went downstairs just to, poke around. Man, I found a pair of Kobe 6s, man. Kobe 6s. I was like, 16, bro? When I tell you I took them joints and rocked them for the next, basketball season, bro, I kid you not, because Kobe 6s are a very comfortable shoe, man. I'm a fan of Kobe's, man. That's why, to me, like, bro, I had 5 laptops open trying to get the Grinches, man, this past December, bro. Because I just like Kobe shoes, man. I just always great shoes.
You know which ones I want badly, bro?
What's up?
I'm trying to get the edition he wore throughout the 05-06 season. It was the shoe he wore when he dropped 81. And he had like his best scoring season yet. I don't know if it's the Nike 1 or 2 for Kobe.
Yeah, I think it's the one. I think that's the up-tempo joints. I had a pair of those when I was a kid.
That's the one I want.
Yeah.
That's the one I want.
That joint fire.
Because again, unfortunately, like you mentioned, right? I've always known about Kobe sneakers. I had a couple pairs, but my interest, of course, spiked back after his passing.
Of course.
So I look back at those joints. I said, these was kind of hard.
Nah, they're real hard.
I was like, I need these.
Yeah,
so I've been looking
hard.
for those.
Yo,
they're real hard.
In 10 years, though, I don't mean to be the downer because I like the business acumen, all that kind of stuff growing. But in 10 years, they're going to throw the estate $500 million to license back the shoes, to retro them all. And then people like us right now talking like are going to go crazy. But I'm just saying, maybe Nike, this actually might be good for Nike too, low key.
Hey, I can see that.
We'll see. I think I really like what you mentioned, though, about that Mamba brand. Because I think Kobe, is one of those players that can have their own brand. You think of, what Dwayne Wade did with Lening. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has his own brand. And
I got OD Dwayne Wade shoes. Sorry to cut you off. I got OD of those shoes you're talking about. I got like $350 gold ones in my closet right now and shit. Yeah, no, I mess with his shoes heavy.
Baller?
Yeah, I'm a Miami boy, that's my guy.
You live.
Anyways.
But yeah, no disrespect to D Wade, but I mean, Kobe is a more liked player than, Dwayne Wade. And it pains me to say that. I love Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? That's my second favorite shooting guard ever behind MJ. But I mean, that Mamba brand, if they choose to go that route, I think that'll be popping too, because you can already see it. Man, you can already see the love.
I think the other day they trademarked a lot of different things. And
they did.
Crazy enough, now that I remembered, fellas, Kobe was looking into potentially launching his own shoe line. So I can see that. I can see that, right? I mean, he already had the own gym, and he was really building up that Mamba brand.
Definitely.
I can see it being like, hey, you know what? Lay low. And I think they would try to change the game in the fact that, and I'll put this out there as a hot take, even though I don't really feel like it's a hot take. I think if the Mambas do become a shoe company, I could see them stealing, quote unquote, a few athletes from other companies, and I think it would be easy if you have Vanessa leading the presentation, and this is real talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm being super serious here. You have Vanessa leading the presentation, the pitch, whatever you want to call it, to these athletes who revered Kobe, right? And she's saying, look, I want you to be the flagship athlete. I want you to be a part of this flagship group, to debut this. You don't think these cats wouldn't leave the Nikes and Adidas? Like, first of all, you know that Nike, Adidas, Puma, whatever money ain't no money. You don't got no signature. You ain't got no signatures. You ain't Zion. You ain't none of these cats. Yeah. You go ahead and get to be a part of the Mambas, and more than likely, right? Because this is a new thing before we move on in 2021, and with these startup companies and anything new, you probably gonna get you a piece of the equity as this starts up. Definitely. Hey, if I was an athlete with some clout, if I ain't got no freaking signature and the bread ain't that good like that for a pro athlete, man, sign me up for Team Mamba.
No, that's real.
I'll be a part of Team Mamba.
You got to think about all those guys that are wearing, you know what I'm saying, Kobe's now, you know, the Devin Bookers, you know what I'm saying. It's the most popular shoe right
and I
now
know you wearing it because it's Kobe's, not because it's
Kobe.
Nike's. It's you wearing it because it's because of code, bro.
Of course.
You're wearing it because of code.
But this is before we go, this is definitely uncharted territory because I remember right after Kobe died, Aaron Dotson at the Undefeated, shout out the Undefeated, he pointed out that Kobe's like the first athlete with the signature shoe to pass away, you know what I'm saying? So this is uncharted territory where we are, man. So, you know, I definitely, I'm a sneakerhead, so I'm gonna definitely be tuning in to see what Vanessa and them do.
Yeah, man, I definitely want them ones. Because I've been hooping here and there. You know, I definitely want them ones to be like my go-to. So, you know.
Yeah, the flex shoe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The bread's been coming in. Maybe we get blessed with another little stimmy. The taxes are coming in. I might ball out and get a couple pair of ones. And, get the calf sleeve and call it a day. Ooh. For the final topic that we got on the deck, MVP talk, but of course with a twist.
Oh, listen to the crowd.
Gentlemen, you already know what time it is. It is the A&I weekly MVP watch, but with a huge twist. And Isaiah, I may have brought it into the group chat, but you furthered it. What is the main point of this week's MVP watch? Because I can't wait to hear it.
Hey man, we of course showed love to Harden. We of course showed love to Nikola, to Embiid. Even, during a off week, one of us, I ain't gonna mention who, showed love to Jimmy Butler. That's me. I definitely did that. That was
you definitely did.
Definitely me. But we haven't showed love to, one of the greatest players of our generation. That boy Wardell, Stephen Curry, man. I mean, in April, balling. Just a few numbers to throw at you, man. In April, almost 41 points. 55% shooting from the field, over 50% from behind the arc, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, this dude is a monster, man. Like, he's just been throwing them up, and they just been coming down. Even against my Sixers, man, I think he was in the final 5 minutes, 40-some seconds, 20 points. Just like that.
That's a
lot of them on his own brother, on his own flesh and blood.
Yeah,
so the question that, we have today... Bruh, crazy, son. But the question we have today is, if Steph keeps this up, through the end of the regular season, could he make a run at MVP? And before I pass it off to you, I think he will have to average these sort of numbers for the rest of the year for him to actually grab it. Especially considering the placement of the Warriors. They're technically, if I remember correctly, they'd be number 9, which, would qualify them for that play-in spot. And don't get me wrong, you give Steph Curry a game, he's gonna go grab that joint. But I just, if we're looking at the entire body of work of this season, don't get me wrong, Steph Curry has been great this year. Great. Not a lot of talent around him, doing everything he can. But I don't think you can give it to him over a guy like Nikola Jokic, someone that's been hooping. And I want to shout out Marcus Thompson for putting this into words. And I'm going to just read something real quick, and then it's all
Go ahead.
What Curry has done this year, it's art. It might not deserve a third MVP, but it's art. Because this is one of the greatest players, like I said, of this generation. And he's become much must-watch TV, He already was must-watch TV for a lot of basketball fans. But you have to tune in to see Steph Curry this year. He's on a historic run. he might not catch, what was it? I think it was James Harden who had like 32 straight 30-plus point games. Mm-hmm. But 11, that's pretty good as of, this Wednesday night recording. That's pretty good. So he going to have to keep putting up them numbers, in my opinion, for him to, go grab the MVP. But what you think?
Greatest shooter I've ever seen.
Of course.
Super influential on my personal game. Hell no. Come on, man. We not... Yeah. We ain't doing that. No. Nah. See, that's what we talked about before. That's that narrative talk. That's that fans and media fall in love. Yeah. And I'm seeing folks starting to do it, right? Like, I've seen some of the same folks who I told, like, listen, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, and them, individually talented people. But those aren't the guys I want on my playoff team. I told them that. They was looking at me I had a couple guys look at me crazy when we were tweeting about it. I was like, yo, because of course it was during another Dame versus Steph dialogue. Okay. I'm like, listen, Dame's supporting cast is better than me. Yes. And Cats mentioned, Wiggins is doing this, Oubre, Wiseman, Draymond. I'm like, listen, Draymond, I'm like, take away Draymond because Draymond is a part of the whatever. But every other name you mentioned, of course, if you want to talk being better individually, sure. As a team, hell no. They aren't efficient. They aren't impactful. You look at what Dames does in Portland. Yes, he's had those great games, but the supporting cast is way better. They just can't play defense. Like, that's their problem. But back to Steph, I love what he's been doing. I've always known Steph has had a God level to his game, and we're witnessing him on God level. But for a man that's currently in the 9th seed, no, we're not doing that. No, and the dude can do it again. This to me, if the folks really let Steph win the MVP, and he isn't higher than a 6 seed or 7 seed, whatever. This to me, I would find as egregious. I would find this to be the most egregious MVP win in all of my years watching NBA. I would find it to be incredibly egregious. It would be more egregious than the one I currently have now, which is Westbrook winning it. And I've said that plenty of times. I would say this would be a greater and more negative case of fans and media letting narratives dictate the race when it shouldn't be. I've said it plenty of times on the A&I podcast, just like I've said it anywhere else. This year's MVP race has been about hooping, bruh. Straight up hooping and straight up success. We're not doing all of this crazy narrative, Cry Me a River. Oh, we could write a beautiful book about this stuff, bruh. I love Steph. He's playing on a God level. But no. The fact that he's even mentioned in the conversation shows that maybe our basketball culture doesn't take seriously what an MVP actually does.
That's real.
That's all I got,
That's
man.
That's real.
It'll be egregious. No.
I'm more confused about that being the most egregious MVP award that Russell Westbrook won. To me, my thing, and I know reason I like this. To me, in my mind, my most egregious MVP award was Dirk's. Dirk Nowitzki has an MVP.
Really?
Because if I remember correctly, it was in the same season that Wade was hooping. Like, Dwayne Wade was hooping. I'm talking, and I may be totally wrong on this, but I think this was the 08-09 season.
No, it wasn't. You talk about 2007 because Bron won MVP in 09 and 010.
Yes, okay. Cool.
Kobe won it in 08.
So this was the 07 season. So let me just read out some numbers to you. And obviously this might, I don't think they were that good. The Heat were that good that year. But still, like, come on, man. Like,
no, that was the era where the Miami Heat would lose by 30, but Wade would put up 35 every night.
So, exactly. So my man's was putting up 27, 7 assists, 5 boards, and they finished, I think, 4th that year in the East. Come on, man.
Hey, but listen, though, I got the rankings in front of me, right? So that year's MVP ranking ended up being Dirk number 1, Steve Nash number 2, Kobe 3, Tim Duncan 4, LeBron 5. Who is Wade knocking off? That was the year Bron took the Cavs to the finals and they won 50 games on his dolo. And wasn't that the year the Heat lost in the first round to the Bulls?
Yeah.
They got
but it doesn't. But you can't count the playoff. You can't count playoff.
I know.
It's a regular season award,
something
my
had
guy.
to look shaky.
It's a regular season award.
Oh, hold on. Let me look at this. Oh, nah. Gilbert was nuts.
So this was you said 07?
06, 07.
Tim Duncan was putting up what?
2010 and 2 blocks a game. Kobe averaging 31, 5, and 5. And you want to talk about dragging? He was dragging the Lakers, was smushing them and buying them in that squad. That's a fact. Bron, 22-year-old Bron, leading a team to 50 wins in the finals. And Nash, this is Nash off a back-to-back MVP, so you already know he was bagging a top 3 finish.
That's another conversation whether or not you should have got those back to back. But that's another, let's not. I don't want to get into that one right now.
Man.
Don't get me wrong, the numbers were there, but
that boy was different.
He was, but I mean,
what was Wade's highest MVP finish? What do you think? Because now you got me scrolling through before.
I want to see. I'm gonna guess third.
Third. It was third. It was the year.
Third?
It was the third. Yep. It was 08-09, the year Bron won.
Yeah.
Wade was third. Okay. LeBron damn near was unanimous.
Yeah.
And 09. 66 wins, baby. Bo Williams was an all-star. Big Z, Andy, Sasha Pavlovich. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Parker for 3. J.J. Hickson off the pick and roll. Baya.
That was such a bad team, though. Like, good
that
Lord.
Was, but hey, the boy Mo Williams.
I can't even believe the Cavs were mad that he left. Don't get me wrong, like that's Ohio's son, but you put some talent around my boy.
Hey, we tried, man. We tried getting what was it? I think we tried getting Bosh last minute, but he went to Miami. Yep. And I remember it was a big deal at the time because we was trying to get Trevor Ariza, but Ariza said no. But hey, this was Ariza Lakers Ariza. This was young Lakers Ariza. No star, but like.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm he can
shooting
hoop.
a little higher.
To get him.
I get you, but I'm aiming a little bit higher, man.
We was trying to get CP3 in a trade.
I was trying to just get somebody, bro. Someone that can score the ball. We was trying,
but nobody wanted to go. Nobody wanted to go, bro.
Nobody wants to go to Cleveland, man. That's real.
At least for a year. I mean, come on, CP. You was with the Clippers. You would have got something in Cleveland. LA, yes, but come on, bro. Like in Cleveland,
wild dude.
You know what I mean? Mike Brown. CP. What? Andy Virgil off the pick and roll. What?
That's crazy.
You gotta love it. Wally Zerbiak for 3.
That's crazy.
You kidding me? I'm about to run that back in 2K. About to, but first things first though, I just got that MLB The Show downloaded. And I'm an Xbox user, so I'm so happy I have that game back. That was the only game I missed switching from PlayStation to Xbox was MLB The Show. So I'm about to go crazy on that. But folks, what you about to say?
If I remember correctly, baseball games are extremely fun. So I'm not much of a video game guy, but I'll play a little bit of FIFA and 2K every now and then. But from what I remember, MLB The Show is pretty dope. So congrats on that.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of the A&I podcast. Of course, man, love is love. Enjoy the rest of your week. Watch sports, kick back, and we'll talk to you next time, man. Later.
Peace.